Hey, this is the Bad Guy Spoken Podcast, and I'm giving you another top five. And this is the top five worst slash dumbest Nightmare on Elm Street kills. Now, if you ever seen so as a kid, nobody scared me more than Freddy Krueger did. Hearing that man's voice, like now his voice sounds hilarious to me because I'm like, what kind of voice? Like I was really scared of this nigga. He was like, got your nose. Like he was just every time he said something like that, it was just. Let me tell you another thing. Everything he said, Super Freddy, all that stuff. Okay, speaking of Super Freddy, number five for worst Nightmare on Elm Street deaths was to Mark on Nightmare on Elm Street 5. Now, if you don't know, Mark was reading a comic book. He gets sucked into said comic book. Freddy shows off the so he's in there, and Freddy shows off the girl that he was like he had a crush on, or if that was his girl, I don't know who that was. To him, like that, I can't remember if that was his girl or if that was just his crush. But I forgot what he said to him. But he was like it was like a dead dog. This is after he killed her, because in this same one, he I think was it this one? Yeah. That was the one where he took the girl. Basically, if you've seen the uncut version, in the regular version, he was just they was force feeding her, and then he was choking her, like he was hugging her, and she was like, and she couldn't breathe. And then he was in the real life, she was just like, and she just died. But in the extended version, you realize when he was feeding her, he was feeding her own insides because she had like this weird thing where she was like a model, and she was trying to like slim down, so she wasn't eating as much, so she was like starving herself. But yeah, so I'd say that's it. So that was the girl he had a crush on. So he ended up killing her, and then he showed her off like it was like a doll version of her. And he was like, "Oh, like you know, saying how are you doing, being goofy with him." So Mark got pissed. Then he turns into a superhero. It was like this, like he had like all these guns, and he's just he just shooting at Freddy, and Freddy's you got me. So he takes it, and then he just falls. So then he's all happy he won. He thought he won. So Freddy pops up just like this. He goes like, he's like, and he's big and buff. So he pops up with a super villain. He's like, Super Freddy, and then that's when he's shooting him. He's shooting him back, and bullets are bouncing off his chest. And he's like, more powerful than a madman, and faster than what was he saying? Than a loco person, you know what I'm saying? Than a lunatic, all this different stuff like that. So he's just saying different stuff. He's just saying quoting Spider-Man or quoting Superman, but being ignorant with it. So then, after he's shooting him and everything, he's like, so he said something. I think he said like Super Freddy, and that's when he turned this nigga into a comic book. He turned this nigga into a comic book page. So then he's like, oh, he was like, turns into a sheet of paper. He's like, what the? And then he takes the color out this nigga. So while he's taking the color of this nigga, he's just swiping, just cutting them all up. And he's like, oh, and he's just crying and screaming, oh my god. He's just cutting them all up. And to the point he starts acting a fool. He turns into shreds of paper, and he just cutting into shreds of paper. He's just laughing while he's doing it. But it was the goofiest way to kill a man. And he literally turned into shreds of paper, and it was just it. He's just laughing while he's killing this nigga. So number 4. Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Coach Snyder. Now, Coach Snyder had this weird thing. I don't understand. I mean to watch that movie again. I ain't watched the movie since I was a kid. I can't remember if he was like messing with the students, like if he was sleeping with the students, or because I refused to watch that movie. That movie was awful. But I can't remember if he was like messing with the kids, or he was sleeping with one of the kids already, or he just one of them kids, like he was a freak, or whatever it was. He went to like a gay club, and he was like in the BDSM, if I said that right. So Freddy decides to choke this nigga with jump ropes. I think if I remember, he choked the nigga with some jump ropes, and like no, he took the jump ropes and tied him up. That's what it was. He took the jump ropes and tied him up, and literally he like started like I think he like whipped him a few times with the towels. He just and then he just cut his back and he died. I thought it was the goofiest shit ever. I was like, this is weird. And you see this man's cheeks and he just whooping him with the thing and then he just cut his back. And I was like, that was really fruity. Like it was. I know this whole movie was supposed to be fruity because like later on I found out that it's supposed to do something to push something about LGBT. It was somehow pushing it somehow. It was weird. It was a weird movie. That's not how you do it if you're gonna push it. That was a weird movie. Number 3 was Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Rick. Now, due to budget restraints, they had Rick in a karate gi fighting an invisible Freddy. Not lying to you. If you ever seen the 4th one, literally, because the main character's brother, he was fighting him, and literally, you just hear, he's just, when I say it's invisible Freddy, they don't show Freddy not one time in this scene. It's just, he's just kicking at the air, and out of nowhere, you see, he's like, oh. He's like, oh. He's like, yeah, you want some? Go, I got, come on, what's good? All right, bet. Yeah, all right, bet. That's all it was. It was just, but it just added sound effects. Oh, all right, bet. That's all it was. And then at the very end, you saw the claw. He's like, sayonara, Rickson. And then that's when the glove comes flying at him and hits him in the gut. And then the girl's in class. She's like, oh. Like she feels him dying. Like, cause somehow she can feel people dying when they die. But it was so stupid. I understand you didn't have the budget, but y'all didn't do shit. Like y'all literally just had this man fighting nothing in a karate gi, and he was in a karate dojo just fighting nothing. He was just kicking at the air, and he was getting punched it was awful. Number 2, Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Everybody at the pool party. If you know the rules of Freddy, you have to pull him out of the dream, and when he is out of the dream, he is powerless. This man wasn't pulled out of the dream, and he ends up crashing this pool party, and just starts sending flames up. Like he turns the pool super hot. He's got flames coming up from behind the fence. He's just clawing at people. It was like, bro, you're not even doing your own rules. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're going against your own Freddy rules with this. It was just goofy. It was awful. He just slashed up everybody. It was ridiculous. Number 1, the worst death scene in this entire series, even though it came from the best movie. The very first Nightmare on Elm Street, Marge. So the movie act like it's a happy ending. You know what I'm saying? We see Nancy get in the car with her friend and her mom. Marge is waving her off like, yeah, baby, yeah, we're good. The car they're in, the roof comes up, and it's Freddy's signature colors. So you know something's wrong here. Because you see red and green stripes. No car look like that. The kids are screaming like, oh my gosh, we're locked in here. Oh my gosh. And while this is going on, because like I said, because first of all, this don't make sense anyway, because they get taken away by the car. Marge is literally snatched through the window of the front door in the goofiest way possible. When I tell you it looks wild. When you go back and watch, you're like, what? This is how this great movie ended? She literally gets snatched through the window. Through this little window. Not an actual window, but like the little window, like, you know, if you don't have like the little peek hole in your front door, you got this little like top window thing you can look through. Like, bruh, she got snatched through that. Oh my, it was so good. Like, when you think about it, bro, how does Nancy live through this? Because she got snatched, the mom got snatched. Her and her friends were locked in that car. You see them drive off. Next thing the third movie happens, and it's just like, okay, like, hey, I dealt with Freddy a few times myself. It's like, nigga, what happened to you at the end? What happened to your mom? We don't even know if she died. But it was just the obvious. It was obvious they was trying to make it so it wasn't a happy ending. Just want a cheap jump scare at the end to get the crowd going. But it was just goofy looking. Because even Now the movie holds up. You go back and watch it. The movie holds up really well. Like when he's walking through the aisle with the long arms, the alleyway with the long arms, it's freaky looking. And the fact that since the one girl she's getting killed underneath the covers, and so the boyfriend's like, what's going on? And he's just underneath like, bitch, he's just clawing her up. It's like, wow, this is crazy. But when you sit, it's just so bad, man. It's so bad. The way she got pulled through that thing, bro, it ruins the entire movie. I will say this though. Even though I think that very first Freddy Krueger movie is the best one, it was the one that scared me the most, the scariest one to me. I personally think the only thing good about the newer Nightmare on Elm Street movie, the one they tried to remake it, the terrible one, the only thing that was good about that movie was the ending. The ending was great. They killed the mom still, but they did it differently. They did it like, it could have been a happy ending. This is why, before I do go into that, I feel like what they should have did with that one is they should have made, because in this one he attacked the kids, but the kids looked fine. But he's a child murderer. How did he attack the kids and they're still fine? He raped them. He was a child molester in this one. That was what they were going with this one. Now I feel like what they should have did was the kids should have lied, or they could have, the kids should have been like, he was a child molester, whatever, and it didn't happen that way. So that way, when they burnt him, he came back as revenge, and we understand that's why he's coming back and killing these people. No, that's not what happened. He just got caught diddling kids, and they burnt him, and he was mad because he got caught diddling kids, and they burnt him. So he came back and killed them. He's coming to try to kill them kids one by one, which is like, you got caught, bro. You were a trash individual. You got caught. And I feel like if they had made it so he was unjustly killed, then it would have been like, oh, this is why he's coming back killing people. But we got to find a way to live through this. That would have been better. It would have been way better. But they didn't do that. He was a child molester. And now the ending of this movie, like I said, the ending was way better because you saw the mom talking to Nancy. And she's talking, and you see a mirror behind her. And she's like leans over like this and comes back. When she comes back, you see her face looking at her, and the mirror behind her, like the reflection in the mirror was Freddy. And the daughter was like, oh my God. And then you see Freddy reach through the that was kind of cool. He reached through the mirror and stab her in the eyes. And then you see, like, because when he reached through like that, the glass was like flying out, and he like reached through going like this and pulled her back in and sucked her in, and she's like, nah, she's screaming. It ends like that. That ending was fire, but the movie sucked. I just wish they put that ending on the old movie. That movie would have been, I feel like if they did that, that movie would be a 10 out of 10. But yeah, I think that's the only thing about that I would have changed if I had the chance. But I'll tell you, if I had the bread, there's a few movies I want to do, or TV shows I want to get redone, and that's one of them. I want to do Five Heartbeats, the TV show version. I want to do Nightmare on Elm Street, the TV version. That's like the two things I really want to do. But yeah, you definitely get like. Please watch the ending of Nightmare on Elm Street, the very first one again. Just watch that, and then watch the ending to the new one. And you'll see it's like you'll see like a terrible ending, you'll see a great ending. I feel like what they should have done was put that old ending on the new movie just to make it that much worse. That would have been hilarious. Get that snatched through. Because at that point I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, that's the only problem I had with the first one was the ending. And the new one I had a problem with it because I was like, so you got caught. That's why you come back trying to kill these people. You got caught dealing kids. And you want to come back mad trying to kill niggas. Like, no, you were wrong. You deserve to die. They should have had it. They should have had, like I said, just had it. He was wrongly killed, and he's coming back for revenge. That would have been a lot better. But yeah, I'm gonna end it right there. Keep it tight.